How will the New England Patriots stop the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday? Let them be the architect of their own defeat. Stick around. You're about to be locked into the Locked On Patriots podcast.
You are Locked On Patriots, your daily New England Patriots podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello to all of you Foxborough faithful. Thank you once again for making Locked On Patriots a daily part of your New England Patriots coverage. Don't forget, Locked On Patriots is a proud part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. So download, subscribe to, follow Locked On Patriots wherever you get your podcasts to ensure that you get the latest episode as soon as it's available. I'm your host, Mike Debate. I cover your New England Patriots for Patriots Country of Sports Illustrated. Reach out to me. Let me know what's on your mind on X at MDABATENFL. While you're out there showing some social media love to Locked On Patriots, be sure to follow our account there as well at LO_Patriots. And today's episode is brought to you by LinkedIn. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the qualified candidates you want to talk to, and they help you do it faster. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/LockedOnNFL. That's linkedin.com/LockedOnNFL to post your job for free. And terms and conditions apply. And Pats fans, we are getting you ready for a 1 p.m. kickoff Sunday, Gillette Stadium. The defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs are coming to town. Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, maybe Taylor Swift, who knows? It's going to be interesting when the defending champs come to Foxborough. And it's never easy to unseat a champion. However, when you've got the keys to victory, it makes that trip a little bit easier. Fortunately for us today, we've got the man with the keys, the man with the answers, our good friend, the legend himself. Murph, thank you so much for coming to us today in friendship and for giving us your monster keys today, Don Murph.
Oh, my pleasure, Michael. My pleasure. Always happy to be here. A bookend kind of week, always, to start the week out here, end the week here, and hopefully the Patriots will turn a couple of keys, or at least enough to come out with a slight victory.
Slight victory, a little bit.
No,
But in any case, folks, we definitely are looking forward to this matchup between the Patriots and the Chiefs. For some reason, I don't know, there's a feeling, an undercurrent here in New England that this game might be a lot closer than the prognosticators think it might be. Murph, we're going to let you enlighten us in just a moment as to what your monster keys to victory are. Let's start on the offensive side of the ball for New England. And we know that Bailey Zappe and company are coming off of a pretty good performance against the Pittsburgh Steelers, a very good first half, one of their best halves of football that they've played all season. They looked a lot more relaxed. Zappe moved the ball. Patriots were able to run the ball effectively. The offensive line blocked well. Everything kind of fell into place. In the second half, we started to see a little bit of sputtering when some of the pressure was turned up by that Pittsburgh defense. That may not be great news for the Pats.
no.
Because they're playing defense this week that, Murph, you and I both know love to blitz. The fourth highest blitz rate at 38.8%. Steve Spagnuolo knows the Patriots want to run the football. He's going to do his best to take that away and put this game into the hands of Bailey Zappe. If you're the Patriots, how do you neutralize what Kansas City wants to do, and what monster keys have to be turned for an offensive victory on Sunday?
Motion, bunches, and the hot read. Okay, Zappe's really going to have to be on his game this week and reading where this blitz is going to come from. Spagnuolo is a virtuoso, as you would like to, as you could put it, when it comes to blitzing from all different directions. Zappe's going to have to spend some time in the film room this week in picking up those tendencies and then filling the hole where the blitz came from. Get the ball out quick and get me that yak that I love so much.
Without question. And I'm glad that you mentioned that, because that is a way to neutralize it, folks, or at least marginally disrupt what Steve Spagnuolo and that Kansas City defense want to be able to do. Look, We know the exotic blitz schemes are his bread and butter. It's what Kansas City does well. It's really their lifeblood of their defense, but it's not all they do. And something that the Patriots also have to keep an eye on is the split safety coverages. Kansas City does this a lot more than a lot of the other teams in the league. According to Next Gen Stats, 56.7% are the times that they're aligned in split safety coverages. That's more than any defense in the NFL right now. Evan Lazar of Patriots.com put this perfectly earlier this week in his column. Specifically, they have to look for the cover. They have to look for the two-man. They know Kansas City is going to be playing the dropbacks in those two coverages. Right. Again, they lead the league with 138 dropbacks in those two coverages. That's going to be difficult. The Patriots, what they need to do is take the aggression that Kansas City is showing in those looks and throw it back at them with an offensive aggression.
Right. It's time to get physical. And this offensive line is going to have to get physical when it comes to getting off the ball this week. Go out there and find Chris Jones and make sure that he's not going to be the disruption that he wants to be on every single down. And he does want to be a disruption on every single down, whether you want to double up on him or whatever, run directly at him, get him chasing guys down from those zone outside reads. It's going to be difficult. I'm not saying that these keys are easy to turn, but they need to be turned. They have to be turned. And like I said, with a team that likes to blitz this often, if the offensive line can hold up as well as it did in the first half last week, I like Bailey Zappe's chances if he can read where that open spot is going to be. Folks, this is going to be an old-fashioned type of Patriots offensive game plan where they are going to set up the pass with the run, but it's all going to come out of Bailey's hands and hopefully into our slot receivers' hands. Hopefully we'll see Pop Douglas back on the field this week because this could be a huge week for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Pop is definitely someone that can add that speed dimension that the Patriots are going to need if Kansas City is going to deploy that blitz and they're going to be sending guys from the second, third level of the defense. You need someone that's quick enough to get out on the route, run the route correctly, find his mark, and then find the catch and get yards after the catch. Demario Douglas is ideal in that situation. Would love to see him back out on the field. Obviously, his health is going to be paramount, but he's removed from the injury report on Friday afternoon. So, folks, that's a big indication that if he's ready to go and he feels okay, Patriots are going to have him out there. You know who else was removed from the injury report on Friday, Murph? Kayshon Boutte. It could be a day that the rookies step it up, and that's what the Patriots have to do here.
And the sophomores.
Yeah, and the sophomores, exactly. Tyquan Thornton's still on the injury report right now, folks. We'll see what he looks like on Sunday. He's a game-time decision from what I'm hearing with an injury, so keep a sharp eye there. But that's what the Patriots have to do, and that's what I was alluding to earlier, that aggressive nature. Use motion, use the fakes, use misdirection, jet sweeps.
Whether you're handing the ball off into it or not, use jet sweep motion and make this Kansas City defense show their hand.
Right, absolutely. And that's what they did against the Steelers. That's what they did against the Bills, and it had good effects. I love the fake bubble screen last week against the Steelers. That led to a 24-yard completion for Hunter Henry in the end zone. So, folks, you have to get inventive against the Chiefs because taking your time, picking your spot, that's not an option against this team, not at the pace that they play, Murph.
Right. It is. It's not an option at all. But this team is all about speed. It's all about accuracy. And, even I'm telling you right now, they don't want to lose a third game in a row.
Right.
Patty Mahomes has not lost 3 games in a row in his entire career. And it's getting to be this isn't getting to be a small sample size anymore.
Yeah, he's absolutely right, folks. And unfortunately, Kansas City's loss last week may have awoken the sleeping giant. When the defending champions have a bitter taste in their mouth, they may be looking to take it out on the team. And unfortunately, the next team up on their schedule are the New England Patriots. So difficult keys to turn, Murph, but valid keys. And I think you've absolutely nailed it to exactly what they need to do to get a win on Sunday. But it's not all about the offense, folks. This defense also needs to step it up. Because the last time I checked, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce and company, Yeah, they're pretty good. They're pretty good at
Pretty good.
offense when they can move the football, but there is a way to neutralize this team. We're seeing it on the field this year. What is that? Murph and I are going to talk about it and turn more keys, defensive keys this time, when this episode of the Locked On Patriots podcast continues, a proud part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Patriots fans, when you're hiring for your small business, you want to have as many top tier candidates as possible to interview. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs has the tools to help you find the right professionals for your team, to help you do it faster. And here's the best part, folks, they help you do it for free. LinkedIn isn't just another job board. They have a vast network of more than 1 billion professionals, which makes it the best place to hire. Hiring is easy when you have that many quality candidates. So easy, in fact, that 86% of small businesses get a qualified candidate within 24 hours on LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn knows that small businesses are wearing so many hats, and they might not have the time or the resources to hire. So thankfully, with LinkedIn, the process is intuitive, it's quick, and it's easy. They even just launched a feature that helps you write job descriptions, making the process even easier and quicker. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/LockedOnNFL. That's linkedin.com/LockedOnNFL to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. Patriots fans, thank you once again for making Locked On Patriots a part of your weekend coverage as we get you ready for Sunday's kickoff, Week 15, Gillette Stadium. New England Patriots hosting the Kansas City Chiefs. Always a lot of fun when the Chiefs come to town, Murph. A lot of history between these two teams. The fates are not exactly similar this year. The Kansas City Chiefs are still in prime position to defend their Super Bowl title. The Patriots will be on the outside looking in, but this is also a statement game, I think, for the Patriots as well, to show what they're made out of and whether or not they can hang with anybody in the league.
Yep.
Victory is not going to be easy, but it is possible. And in the first segment, you told us why. You showed us the offensive keys to victory, as you do each and every week. Folks, it's not just lip service. You turn the keys, you go to the top. You don't turn the keys, you're never heard from again. The keys were turned last Thursday, and the Patriots got a win. So in that vein, Don Murph, when you look at the defensive game plan and hoping to contain Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Sky Moore, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, and whoever they're going to put out there on the field, what does this Patriots defense have to do to keep the Chiefs in check? They've been excellent against the run. They've been decent against the pass. But this may take a little more than status quo to get the job done. What are the defensive keys here, buddy?
Yeah, the defensive keys here are to get physical. I called them the Olivia Newton-John key. All right, let's get out there and let's get physical. When the Chiefs are successful, it's when you don't redirect their routes, when you allow them to get off the line. Get in these receivers' faces, especially Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce does not like being hit. He does not like being held up. All right, hit him at the line of scrimmage. Get him out of his timing with Mahomes, and don't lose him. Do not lose him. How often do we see Travis Kelce standing in the middle of a field, finding a spot in the zone where there's nobody on him at all? There's no one around him. Do not pass him off expecting somebody else to pick him up behind him. Stick with this guy. Don't let him move the chains. For years, Travis Kelce has been the last key cut on my ring. He's been the least of my worries when it comes to facing Kansas City. There's always been something else. This year, it's becoming more and more Kelce generated offense, and I just don't understand why defensive backs let him go. Don't let him go. If that's your response, you stick with it until it's almost like tag team wrestling. All right.
Yeah.
Unless you can tag off with somebody else in that defensive backfield. All right. And you know that they're in his hip pocket. Don't do it. Hit him at the line of scrimmage, get him off his route and stick with him. with anybody else that you want to run out there, I want to see the Patriots push the coverage to outside the numbers. All right.
Very good point.
Mahomes has had a very difficult time this year throwing outside the number. Well, he hasn't had a difficult time. He's gotten the throws there. Everybody's dropping them. I'm not. It's been a real battle for this kid this year, and that's why they are where they are. Some guys need the elite wide receivers, and some guys don't. Guys named Tom Brady, and but it is force the wide receivers outside the hash marks and make him beat you there. Get Kelce off of his mark, get physical with him, and get physical with this offensive line of the Kansas City Chiefs. Get home with 4. I want to see pressure. Turn it up. I want him feeling pressure when he gets off the plane tonight, tomorrow, whenever Kansas City gets. I want the bariatric pressure in New England to be so squeezing that he's just uncomfortable getting off the plane before he even gets into his hotel room. Never mind once the game starts on Sunday. That's it. That's the key on defense, is to move these guys outside the hashes, get pressure on Mahomes, and get home.
Excellent points, and I want to elaborate on 2 of them that you made.
Please.
We'll start with Kelce. Chris Clark, host of Locked On Chiefs, joined me here a couple of days ago for our crossover episode, and he mentioned what makes Travis Kelce so effective. And he sees the game through the eyes of the quarterback, and the great ones do that. Rob Gronkowski did that up here for a number of years. He's reading the opposing coverage. He's identifying formations before the snap. And with Kelce's ability to run routes, and he's one of the better route runners in the game today, folks, it's almost impossible to stop him when he gets going. Murph is absolutely right. There is a way to prevent him from trying to take the game over. How do you do it? Like you said, you force him out of his route, send him on a detour. Don't allow him to go. Disrupt him. You try to jam him. You double him in man coverage. You hope that you're seeing what he's seeing in zone coverage, because Kelce is just a beast at destroying the zone, folks. He really is. He's one of the best I've ever seen at being able to attack a zone defense. It sounds good. It's much easier said than done, but there is a way to do it. You get physical with him.
Match
Force
quarters.
Him out of,
I've been cutting this key for 5 years with this team, and they have yet to figure it out. They've yet to figure it out. Get in the match quarters. Get him off his spot.
I also want to circle back to what you said about Patrick, because this hasn't been the smoothest of years for Patrick Mahomes. He's discovering that when you change the guard at receiver, there's going to be an awkward period of feeling out and finding out who you trust now when your most trusted targets are not there. Yes, I understand he has Kelce, and that's always going to be a security blanket for him, but you can see the frustration with this kid right now. And I think it's valid, because the receivers are either not running their correct routes, or they're not getting to the catch point on time, and it's leading to incompletions. It's leading to things that Chris described on Thursday here on the crossover episode as self-inflicted issues that we just typically don't see from the defending champions. We didn't see them from New England all that often either, but when there was a changing at the receiver position, there were some times where there were disconnects between Tom. Exactly. And you are seeing it now with Patrick Mahomes. So he's got to develop a trust with these guys. I mentioned earlier guys like Sky Moore and Marquez Valdez-Scantling. He has to learn their abilities. He's got to harness MVS's speed. He's got to take a look at Sky Moore's ability to get open and utilize that and become what he hopes they are, because these guys are talented receivers, but they're really struggling to become Patrick's trusted targets. And if you're the New England Patriots, folks, this is where you need to attack. If the Patriots want to have success against Patrick Mahomes, you need to use some too high safety shells. That's where he becomes a mortal man. This is where teams have had success. He struggled against the too high safety shells all season long, but you got to be strategic in the way you deploy it. Patrick is as good as anyone in the league at identifying and making a defense pay for telegraphing their coverages. So mix them in if you're smart, but if you do it the right way, I think the Patriots could have some success here. The blueprint is there. They've got to follow it, and they've got to be precise.
And don't forget about Isaiah Pacheco. All right, he's always there as the last resort, not just in running the ball, but catching the ball out of the backfield. Patty loves to use him in a myriad of ways. I was sitting there watching the last two games, and look, they still run wheel routes. People in innovative offenses still run wheel routes. Take that, Felger. You can put a different coat of paint on it, and you can call it you can call it something different, but the plays that these innovative masterminds, guys like Andy Reid, and you can't say that he isn't an innovative mastermind. You really can't.
Oh, absolutely.
He's one of the best offensive minds in the history of this game. And you can put whatever name on whatever plays that they're running out there. These are the same plays that people have been running for the past 15 years, 18 years. There's just a little tweak here, a little tweak there. You're getting away with more pick plays and this, that, and the other thing, but it's still the same thing. People talk about an old-fashioned style of football. You have to go back to the 90s and the 80s for that. What Kansas City is doing now, believe me, Philadelphia was doing 10 years ago. It's really not that much different. And the game plan is the same if you're on defense. Get in the quarters coverage. Do not lose track of their number one weapon, and push the guys like Sky Moore to the outside and force Patty to get the ball down the field and to them. And like Mike said, split up those safeties, those two cover shells, mix that in there and keep him off balance and not knowing when somebody else is coming over. Wish we had somebody as quick as Devin McCourty back there still.
Yeah, you definitely miss a guy like Devin, especially not just for the prowess that he brings on the field and his physical capabilities, but just the knowledge,
just the
that he
mental
brings, and
aspect
being able
that
to
he brought to
recognize.
right.
Yeah,
Oh my God, he's
it
like
really
a cheat
is.
sheet. Everything that we talk about, folks, where Tom Brady over the years said, "Go ahead, man, I've got the answers to the test." It's the same thing with Devin McCourty. He had
Yeah,
the answers to every single test,
he did.
and you would have realized that with his brother also if he was here longer. But they were the McCourty twins are two very smart football players, and I'm not taking anything away from the guys that are back there now. I breathed a little easier.
Mm, it's true. I think we all did with guys like McCourty back there, and even some like a Dunter Hightower in the middle part of that defense that was able to coordinate things and keep everything copacetic between the interior and that front, that defensive front, and the defensive secondary. So, yeah, I mean, there is no Devin McCourty walking through the door, but the Patriots still have a couple of safeties, I think, on this team that are capable of being physical and smart football
Yep.
players. Right place, right time. Could be a big game for Kyle Duggar and Jabril Peppers. I also mentioned Jonathan Jones. He always finds his way into these situations, folks, where he makes a big play or comes up in a big situation, in a key situation where the Patriots need him most. And again, that defensive front needs to be as good as they've been all season long in order to be able to slow down what has the potential to be an explosive offense. The key is take them out of their game. If they do, this one could get closer than we think. And that leads me quite nicely, Murph, into my final question for you for the day, bud. Murph always has a secret key up his sleeve, folks. There's always a little something the man saves for right here on Locked On Patriots. We're going to turn Murph's secret key in just a moment, and we're going to get his game prediction when this episode of the Locked On Patriots podcast wraps up right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. Locked On listeners, the holidays are upon us, and it can be a magical, happy time for so many. After all, it is the season of giving. And whether or not your family gives gifts during the holidays, you get to define how you give to yourself. And the holidays are a great time to do that. So whether it's by starting therapy, going easier on yourself during the tough moments, or treating yourself to a day of complete rest, remember to give yourself some love this holiday season. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. In the season of giving, give yourself what you need with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/lockedon today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/lockedon. Patriots fans, don't forget that Locked On has launched the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube. Locked On Sports Today is here for you 24/7, covering the top sports stories of the day with the local experts of Locked On, plus our national shows covering every league. Go to Locked On Sports Today on YouTube and subscribe to the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel. And folks, thank you for taking time out of your schedule, out of your weekend to join us here on Locked On Patriots. As you can see, my good friend, the legendary Thomas Murphy is joining me here today, turning the monster keys to victory as we do each and every week. And Murph, so far, those offensive and defensive keys look pretty good. Not going to be easy, but they look pretty good. And I think pretty promising for the Pats to pull an upset. But we all know that you love to save a little something for this segment. I'm not going to steal your thunder any more than I already have. Murph, if there is a secret to beating this Kansas City Chiefs team that we haven't discussed, what would you say your secret key to victory is for the Patriots to pull the upset in Week 15?
Ezekiel Elliott inside the 20s. Strong dose of Zeke inside the 20s. All right. It's often in my weeklies, one of the things that I've always pointed out is the fact that turnovers kill, and turnovers against the Kansas City Chiefs are it's almost like flipping the switch in the Green Mile. You know, if you give them extra chances at the ball, they're gonna run it up with you. The who I feel most comfortable about right now on this Patriots offensive side of the ball is the veteran, and that's Ezekiel Elliott. Zeke is going to get you those 4 yards that you need to move the chains. Zeke is going to hold on to the ball inside the 20s and not let it go. That's me knocked in wood right there. But Ezekiel Elliott is my secret key this week. A heavy dose of Zeke. Like I said earlier, this is going to be a game that the Patriots are going to have to set up the pass with the run. They're going to have to keep this defense off balance in that way, so they're not pinning their ears back and blitzing from every single direction, including straight up. And Ezekiel, it's the guy that's going to be able to do that for you. Zeke is my secret key this week.
Yeah, they're definitely onto something when it comes to that. Look, we know Steve Spagnuolo is going to want to try to neutralize the run. He's going to want to try to take that away from the Patriots because it is such a big part of what their offense is predicated on. You want to get Bailey Zappe into play action, you have to establish the run early, folks. And if the Patriots can't do that, especially with Ramondre Stevenson on the shelf, could be a problem. But if you want to use Ezekiel Elliott inside the 20 and inside the red zone, you're talking one of the great running backs of all time inside the 20. Ezekiel Elliott is a great red zone running back. And it's not like this is something that he hasn't done in a while and you have to dust off the shelf a little bit to get him into motion. Last season, Murph led the NFL in red zone rushing attempts for the Dallas Cowboys with 59. 31 of those 59 yards came inside the 10-yard line.
Inside the 10.
12 of them came inside the 5-yard line. He had 11 touchdowns inside the 20, and he led the NFL with 162 rushing yards in the red zone. If there is an area where the Patriots can attack this Chiefs defense with their backs up against the wall, Zeke is the guy to do it. So I agree with you. I absolutely love the secret key. Hopefully the Patriots can turn it. Like I said, not going to be easy because Spags is going to try to do his thing to take it away. But at the same time, you know the Patriots are going to want to do this. And if they can have success there, don't look now, folks, but we might have an actual game on our hands on Sunday. And that leads me quite nicely into my final question for you today, my friend. I gave my game prediction earlier this week. I've gone back and forth on this in my head. I went with my intellect rather than my gut on this one. And I did say that the Patriots would bow 24-14 to the Kansas City Chiefs this Sunday. I think that loss last week really kind of upset them. Yeah. And I think they're going to come in looking for a reestablishment of their alpha mentality.
reset.
But I will say this: the Patriots have the horses to take it to the Chiefs and beat them this weekend. What say you, my friend? What are you looking at? How do you think this one shakes out on Sunday in Foxborough?
You know, the more tape I look at, the more time I spend in front of a screen watching this incarnation of Kansas City, the better I feel about the Patriots, and especially the way they've been playing. Now, granted, folks, I understand it's been 2 good quarters out of the last 8, but this is going to be a really close one. Okay, the days not to jinx anything, but the days of putting up 34, unless you're the Raiders playing the Chargers in a half, are probably gone with this Kansas City team. It's not there anymore. Those weapons aren't there anymore. Patty isn't on the same wavelength with these guys as he has been with his receivers in the past. I do believe it's going to be a close game, and I like the Patriots in this one, 21-16.
Well, you know what, folks? From Murph's lips, the New England football gods' ears this weekend. I'm telling you, the Pats can pull this upset out. I'm not going to waver and I'm not going to waffle on stand by. 24-14 Chiefs. And bottom line, folks, you can tell us how right we were or how wrong we were. If I'm right or wrong, let me have it. If Murph's right or wrong, let him have it. Because we're going to be back here on Monday to break it all down. And we also would love for you to submit your questions because, as always, either the Melancholy Monday or the Victory Monday is always concluded in our third segment with Mailbag Monday. So make sure to get those questions in. Murph, what can I say? Thank you for everything that you do for Locked On Patriots, and please enlighten us all on what we can expect from the great pen, the great voice of Thomas Murphy this weekend into Monday when you join us back here for Mailbag Monday and to recap the action we see on the field on Sunday.
This weekend, I'll be taking the Red Sox and their lack of action to task, and of course you can go read the keys today. A little heads up for everybody out there. I have switched. I have taken a new gig, an old gig. I am moving back over to Pat's. God, why do I do this to myself? Diehard BostonSportsFans.com. You can check out all my work over there now. I am no longer 82G Sports, but I will be here every single week as long as Michael keeps putting the light on out there and keeping the door unlocked. It's fantastic to be back over there at Boston Sports Fans. They're a great group of people. I don't have to work off of some of the restrictions that I've had in other places along the lines, and I just love it. So yeah, go check me out over there. I'll be linking up everything on Zitter at TMurph207. That's never going to change. And thank you again for coming out in droves and reading my work. It's a real pleasure, and it touches my heart that you guys have been doing this with me for almost 18 years now, and I can't wait for the next 18.
Absolutely. And what better announcement can be made during the holiday season than to find out that Murph is going back to diehard Boston sports? Those guys are great friends of mine. Steve Thompson runs an amazing site over there, so check that out, folks. But diehard Murph, Christmas movie, it fits all in one. It absolutely, it interlocks. And we love it, and we love having you on here. So that will never change, folks. So check Murph out at diehardbostonsportsfans.com. And, of course, you can check him out each and every week here on Locked On Patriots to turn the monster keys and to enlighten us all on exactly what the Patriots should have done the day after, win, lose, or draw. I once again thank my good friend, Don Murph, Thomas Murphy, for all of his contributions here this week and always to Locked On Patriots. But most of all, I thank each and every one of you, all of you everydayers out there, all of you casual listeners, and if we have any first-timers, thank you for making us a part of your daily Patriots coverage, and hopefully you keep coming back for more. We'll be here, and we will be back on Monday, but in the meantime, I remind you to stay safe and to stay well, and to be the change you wish to see in the world. On behalf of Thomas Murphy, I am Mike Debate. Enjoy the game on Sunday. We'll see you back here again on Monday on Locked On Patriots.
I'll be in attendance wearing the undefeated Edelman jersey.
Nice.
Come check us out. Bring beer.